Hi, it's Ray from Live Yourself Young, and today I want to share with you a beginner's core workout I've been doing. Although last year I was in the gym 6 days a week, I barely did any core work. I was so busy focusing on every other body part. So when the gym closed and with no equipment at home, I turned to bodyweight exercises. And I decided to work on strengthening my core because a strong core helps us to have a better posture and helps our body function better, not only in our other exercises, but our everyday activities. In fact, having a strong core helps you to live yourself young. To be honest with you, last week I was filming a follow-along core workout, but I just wasn't happy with it. And I decided the best place to start with is with what I am actually doing myself. And I would love for you to learn with me and progress with me. When I started, I chose a few exercises to focus on and started doing 2 to 3 rounds with a minute's rest in between. I was doing this twice a week, but last week I started doing just 1 round and adding them in every day or every other day, as they don't take long to do. You can follow along with me now and then do the exercises consistently to get a stronger core too. But first, I just want to talk about what our core is, because it's not just the abs, but it's all the muscles that support the spine. I like to think of it as my muscular corset. We hear the term brace your core or engage your core a lot, but if you're unsure what this means or how to do it, then this tip may help. So what I do is I imagine someone is going to punch me in the stomach. And if you do that, you will feel your core engage. And when you cough or sneeze or laugh, you will feel your core engage. And that's what we need to feel when we're doing these exercises. And when we're doing exercises on our back during this workout, we want to keep the lower back flat to the ground. So you're pulling your belly button in. I want you to think of your lower back and the floor as best friends who don't want to be parted. If at any time doing the exercises you feel your lower back coming off the floor, it means you are no longer able to keep your core engaged, so rest and then reset before trying again. It's so important to keep this proper form, otherwise you will start using your hip flexors instead of your core muscles, and that's when you will feel it in your lower back, which is what we want to avoid. The first exercise is the tuck hollow body hold on the back. I found this a great exercise to start with, as it helps us to really train the core. To get into position, I'm engaging my core, my lower back is flat. I'm bringing my knees up to 90 degrees. In fact, to start with, bring them in a little more, as this helps engage the core. I'm tucking my chin and we're going to bring the shoulders off the ground and reach the arms forward. I'm setting the timer for 1 minute, but in the beginning, don't push yourself too hard. Just hold the exercise for as long as you can and work your way up every time you do it. Aim to hold it for 20 seconds and work your way up to a minute over time. If your neck starts to bother you, you can place the head down, but it helps to keep more tension in the core if you can keep your head up. I'm keeping tension in the legs as well. Pointing the toes helps this. And remember to breathe. If your lower back comes up off the floor, this means you've stopped engaging your core, so need to rest. When you can hold this position, to make it harder, then bring your knees out a little bit to the 90 degrees. As the further out the legs are, the harder your core has to work. 10 seconds to go. Nearly there, and we're done. From this position, we are ready to do the next exercise, which is a dead bug. I love this exercise. It's great for proper core stabilisation whilst we're moving the limbs. I'm going to start with the arms straight up, so I'm ready to extend one leg and the opposite arm straight, simultaneously down towards the ground. Again, I'm going to set the timer for 1 minute, but just do the exercise for as long as you can without letting your lower back come off the ground. Engage the core, slowly reach one arm and one leg down to the ground and then return to the starting position. Straighten out your leg and arm all the way and then back. Oh boy, this is challenging for the brain as well as the body. I remember when I first started this, it took me a few goes to get it. I'm really reaching through the leg and arm low to the ground and keeping my lower back flat. Again, the key here is to keep your back flat to the ground throughout the exercise and keep your core activated. 10 seconds to go. And we're done. Now onto the plank. We want to get into a proper plank position, so I'm getting into a bear position. My shoulders are directly above my hands, my chin is slightly tucked, and my neck in neutral. I'm posterior tilting my pelvis and squeezing my core and glutes. You want to be getting a rounded back, so push the ground away with your hands. You can start on your knees if you can't hold the full plank. Just make sure to keep the same form I talked about for the full plank. I'm going to set the timer for 1 minute, but again, just do what you can. Step your feet back in a straight line, squeezing your glutes to help maintain this position. If this is too challenging, start on your knees. Come back to your knees anytime you need to, but keep the same form. And as soon as you can't hold it any longer, then rest. I find holding this for 30 seconds challenging. We're working towards holding it for 1 minute, and I find myself shaking by the end. Nearly there. And we're done. Now onto the side plank. I started doing the side plank as I discovered it really helps to improve my squat mobility. If you have tight hips, you may notice it helps you too. But as it is also a brilliant core exercise, I have added it into my basic core workout. Make sure your elbow is directly under the shoulder. And I like to have my feet side by side instead of stacked, as this puts less force on the spine. If you find this is too challenging, then you can start on the knees, but you must make sure you are still squeezing the glutes. And I find putting the top leg out helps with this. I'm going to set the timer for just 30 seconds this time. Hold this position as long as you feel comfortable. Lift your body up into a straight line, driving through your feet and elbow. To help keep your body straight, try putting your other arm up into the air. Drive your hips upwards the whole time and make sure you're not rotating towards the ground. Squeeze your butt and keep your body in a nice straight line as you lift up and hold. I try to create tension all the way down to my feet. And that's 30 seconds. Now let's repeat this on the other side. I have a rotator cuff injury on my right shoulder, so find it more challenging on this side. Okay, let's go. Again, hold the position as long as you feel comfortable. Remember to keep driving your hips upwards the whole time. Keep your whole body tight, your core, and squeeze your glutes and quads as hard as you can. And we're done. And the last exercise is the bear crawl. This is a completely new exercise for me and I am loving learning this. So for this, I'm in bear position again on my hands and knees, getting ready to crawl. We're just going to use opposite limbs to propel ourselves forward. It sounds easy, right? But if you are anything like me, you will find this challenging to begin with. A couple of tips: tuck your chin and engage your core. Keep your back flat. To start, press the ground away with the hands and try lifting the knees an inch off the ground. How does that feel? If this is new to you, don't worry too much about how you're moving around. Just crawl and work towards keeping the knees low to the ground and the hips straight. You may find you're just not very strong to start off with, but with practice you will get stronger. I'm setting the timer for 1 minute, so let's crawl. Engage your core the whole time you're crawling. It's more challenging than it sounds because we are aiming to crawl with the knees just a couple of inches off the ground without allowing the hips to come up too high and without the torso rotating. I'm moving slow and controlled, pushing the ground away with my hands. I find it helps not to make the movement too big. I have progressed to going backwards too, but this is more challenging, so something to work towards. And that's it. So these 5 exercises form the basis of my core strengthening practice. If you want to progress with me, add this to your exercise routine. Keep practicing and check back for a progression workout where we will progress to more challenging variations. After working the core, I like to do the opposite and go into some extension to stretch out the abs and front of the body. So let's stretch out in the cobra position. And I'm moving into child's pose to end. Thanks for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed the workout as much as I do. At the end, Leo came to join me, so I had to leave some of the footage of him in, as I know he has a few fans amongst you. Please like the video if you enjoyed the workout, or just give it a like for Leo and subscribe to Live Yourself Young. You will be seeing a lot more of Leo, so turn on notifications, and as always, I will see you next time.